There's a revolutionary cure for pain that few doctors know about because it's not a new pill or surgery. It uses moving magnets, energy waves that change the way your body copes with pain. Wait till you see what we found. Now, just to be clear, we are not talking about static magnets like the kind you stick on the fridge. This is pulsed electromagnetic fields. It's pulsing moving energy. So Dr. James Dillard is a world-class pain specialist who practiced at the New York Presbyterian Hospital for many years. How can magnetic therapies help ease pain?
Because the electromagnets actually affect the nerve cells. Nerve cells are electrical cells, and the magnetic fields can actually affect how the nerves fire and quiet them down without using drugs that most people are used to, and increase circulation in the area and aid the healing.
Here's what researchers say magnetic fields are doing inside the body. Inside this mat, there are electrical coils. And when electricity passes through there, it creates a magnetic field that moves through the body. And it whispers. There's 75 trillion cells in your body. And it goes deep into your body, places where sports screens and heating pads could never reach. For example, down around the spine, where that red, angry area is. Now, the magnetic field turns on, and when it does it, it activates these ions, these charged particles. And there are proteins in there, and there's signals in there, stirs these things up. And these charged particles bring in nutrients, but they also begin to influence things like blood supply. Now, when the blood vessels are going in here, the red blood cells are actually stacked. See, they're stacked like that? They're not supposed to be stacked. When they're irritated, that happens. So when you pass magnetic fields through there, that yellow line, it opens up the blood vessel. It breaks apart these red cells. They're not stacked like coins. So you can get deep healing, better oxygen supply. So the healing process takes place. You don't just feel better. You are better.
PEMF has been shown to activate the body's natural healing process by acting at a molecular, cellular, and tissue level, and has been clinically proven to improve bone healing rates of a non-union fracture or fusion. Exposure of a bone-forming cell to PEMF generates an electrical field across the cell membrane. Bone cells recognize PEMF, activating several pathways leading to an immediate cellular response. At the cellular level, the PEMF signal activates bone growth signaling pathways, which enhances bone formation by increasing both the population, cellular proliferation, and maturity of the bone-building cells. The exposure of the bone-building cells enables an increase in strength and quality of bone at the tissue level. Published preclinical research on fracture healing shows that the group treated with PEMF had a twofold increase in bone volume 13 to 20 days post-fracture. Following PEMF exposure, the resulting changes to the molecular, cellular, and tissue processes have been clinically shown to improve healing rates of non-union fractures and spinal fusions.
PEMF energizes the body at a cellular level, recharging the cells, increasing energy, and enhancing cellular performance. PEMF optimizes blood flow, increasing oxygenation, boosting nutritional uptake, and removing toxins and waste from the body. PEMF therapy is used for managing inflammation, osteoporosis, joint injuries, and arthritis. PEMF promotes healthy aging. Over time, cartilage can wear out in the joints. This will cause bone-on-bone contact, inflammation, and pain. PEMF has proven an effective therapy for cartilage regrowth in joints throughout the body, avoiding knee and hip replacement or strengthening bone structure around existing implants. PEMF is extremely effective for pain therapy, stimulating the body's natural pain medicine. The sensation of pain is created by electrical signals sent by nerve fibers. These signals are interpreted by the brain as pain. PEMF decreases the firing of nerves, thereby reducing pain. Plus, it stimulates the body's natural endorphin production. With PEMF, you can improve sleep, increase melatonin production, end insomnia, and promote healing during the sleep cycle.
Pulsed electromagnetic fields, or PEMFs, address impaired chemistry and thus the function of cells, which in turn improves your health. PEMFs deliver beneficial, health-enhancing EMFs and frequencies to cells throughout our body. Low-frequency PEMFs of even the weakest strengths pass right through the body, penetrating every cell, tissue, organ, and even bone without being absorbed or altered. PEMFs work to reduce pain, inflammation, the effects of stress on the body, and platelet adhesion, improve energy, circulation, blood and tissue oxygenation, sleep quality, blood pressure, and cholesterol levels, the uptake of nutrients, cellular detoxification, and the ability to regenerate cells, balance the immune system and stimulate DNA and RNA, accelerate repair of bone and soft tissue, and relax muscles.
What is PEMF? What is your body's relationship to the earth? How does your body benefit, and what to expect with PEMF devices? We are all familiar with static magnets. As kids, most of us played around with horseshoe magnets and bar magnets. We have seen how iron filings will go around them. Did you know that with a solenoid or current loop, you can create the same pure magnetic field if you use just a constant DC current? So we can create magnetic fields with electricity. This is Ampere's law. Even way back to the ancient Egyptians and Greeks, we've known that magnets or healing and lodestones way back in ancient times have been used to heal people with various ailments. It wasn't until the late 70s, early 80s that Eastern European studies showed that pulsed magnetic fields work better and faster than static magnets. So PEMF, or pulsed electromagnetic fields, are basically a magnetic field that's vibrating or changing with time. So very similar energy. In fact, you can use the same equations for low frequency and low intensity PEMF. The Earth has a natural magnetic field, but most people don't know that the magnetic field of the Earth has a frequency to it. There are two components to Earth frequencies. There's the geomagnetic frequencies, which are low sub-hertz up to 3 Hz. And second, you have the Schumann resonances, which are roughly 7 to 50 Hz. This is PEMF therapy. We are literally getting PEMF therapy every day from the Earth. Also, our bodies are biomagnetic. A squid magnetometer is a very sensitive magnetic field detector that can detect our magnetic field up to 15 feet into space. So the Earth's magnetic fields vibrate, which is PEMF, and our biomagnetic field is vibrating. The Earth's magnetic frequencies are the same as the body and brain. In fact, heart math has shown that the heart frequencies and the subhertz frequencies of the heart are the same. You can see pictured here brainwave frequencies almost identical to the Schumann resonance at 78 Hz. We are deeply connected to planet Earth and these natural PEMFs from the Earth and their essential elements. Unfortunately, there's a crisis on planet Earth. It's a twofold problem, and we're just not getting enough of this natural Schumann resonance from the Earth and the natural geomagnetic frequencies. Why is that? Well, number one, the Earth's magnetic field is declining, and it's about 50% of what it was just several centuries ago. In fact, some studies show that our Earth's magnetic field was at one time 20 times what it is now. This is probably because we're going through a pole reversal. The second half of that problem is we spend too much time indoors, where 90% of our time we're spending inside and shielded from these natural magnetic fields, so we don't get enough of the good frequencies from the Earth. But we get too much of the bad with electrosmog from cell phones, Wi-Fi cell phone towers, and with the 5G networks. It's just going to get worse and worse. So what's the solution to this twofold problem? Well, the solution, I say, is vitamin P. For PEMF, we supplement just like Senate Document 264 that was released in 1936 showed that our soils were deficient in nutrients, and we should probably take nutritional supplements. We also now need to take energetic or electroceuticals to give us this much needed energy from the Earth. How do we know the Earth's magnetic fields are essential? There are zero-field studies that have shown in bunkers with Berger Weber and Valerie Hunt at UCLA that when you shield the magnetic field from the Earth, all kinds of problems happen. Even the Russian and US space programs recognize that bone loss and muscle atrophy take place when we don't get enough of this natural magnetism from the Earth. But beyond just bone loss and muscle atrophy, we feel an increased sensation of pain, as shown by Dr. Nakagawa with insomnia, depression, disorientation, etc. And when you add Earth-inspired PEMF like Schumann resonant, it's the antidote. It's the cure for magnet deficiency syndrome. So beyond just a natural understanding of how we've evolved with these natural energies and that we need them, there actually are 30,000 research papers on PEMF therapy for over 100 conditions. In fact, PEMF therapy is FDA approved for non-union bone fractures, tissue swelling and pain, depression, and even recently in 2011 brain cancer. So it's obviously not quackery when we have these long-term studies that have gained FDA's approval. As well as many orthopedic surgeons, if you have a non-union bone fracture, we'll prescribe a PEMF device to help you to heal. So, how does PEMF therapy work? It works through two basic principles of physics. The first is Faraday's law, which says that a changing magnetic field will induce a current in a wire. We are not made of wires, but we do have a lot of charged ions and particles and a changing magnetic field. Through Faraday's law, PEMF is inducing microcurrent deep into the body and the tissues. The reason that it's so effective versus, say, microcurrents and other forms of energy medicine is that the human body is transparent to magnetic fields. In fact, magnetic fields are the only form of energy medicine, with PEMF that don't get blocked, shielded, reflected, absorbed, or slowed down in any way. This is because the magnetic permeability constant has one meaning, that it is just like a vacuum in space. Magnetic fields are going right on through us, just like a wind going through a grassy field. You can see the blades of grass moving as the wind moves along. The second important physics principle of how PEMF works is resonance. The key with PEMF therapy is not intensity, it's resonance and that rapid rise and fall signal. When it comes to resonance, Siskin and Walker, as well as Eddy and Bowen, NASA studies, and much of the other research has shown that the main frequencies the tissues and cells in the body resonates to are in the 0 to 50 Hz range. How does PEMF help heal the body? First of all, PEMF does not heal directly, but gives your body the tools to heal itself. There are many mechanisms for how PEMF works. We have boiled it down to two main ways that PEMF helps to heal the body. It has to do with kinetic and potential energy. We will start with potential energy. To understand it better, first and foremost, PEMF therapy helps to recharge cellular voltage. It does this through Faraday's law by moving charged ions around the cell membrane, and it does so in ways that simulates exercise. Another mechanism described in a biophysics book is that a changing magnetic field, proteins in the cell membrane act as rectifiers. This means the charges will go one way but then won't back up. Through this, you can push charges across the cell membrane, and they'll stay. That is what a battery does. A battery separates charge. Whenever you have separated charges, you have voltage or stored energy. This cellular voltage is one of the keys to healing, as Dr. Otto Warburg has shown. You can see in this chart, healthy cells always have a high cellular voltage, and unhealthy cells start to decline and have lower voltage. Cancer tests, we're only getting 15 to 20 millivolts. This is why PEMF is actually FDA approved now for certain types of cancer, because it increases cell voltage. This is the primary mechanism. Recently, Dr. Dodaro and Dr. Connolly have shown when you increase cell voltage to cancer, the cancer just stops proliferating. It stops in its tracks, it stops dividing, and the cell membranes swell and get thinner and just pop. Apoptosis. It all has to do with increasing cellular voltage, and potential energy is stored energy. When we have more stored energy, it's like our batteries are on green, just like your cell phone. When your batteries are fully charged, they can do more. Health is an energy game. The second half is kinetic energy. PEMF is inducing current flows. This idea of flow or movement is so key to health. People talk about microcirculation with PEMF therapy, but it's more than just circulatory. Microcirculation, it's actually lymphatic flow, nerve flow, and meridian flow. PEMF is just opening up all those channels of flow. By opening up all these flows, you're able to get nutrients and oxygen into the cells and waste products out within the nervous system. It helps a cell-to-cell communication and the connective tissue matrix. When the body has total interconnection, all these networks are all opened up. A total connection equals a total path to healing. How does PEMF help with microcirculation? There are three ways it does it. First, it increases nitric oxide to widen the blood vessels. Second, it helps to dissipate the rouleau effect, which means by charging the cells, they electrostatically just repel each other. And finally, 3, it lowers the surface tension of water or blood or plasma. The blood just flows more easily. When you increase microcirculation, you're able to get oxygen and nutrients down into the cells, waste products, and toxins out. The keys to healing and regeneration are that people that are sick typically have low cellular voltage and poor circulation. How does PEMF help when you use it every day? You feel a sense of warmth, sometimes tingling, your body softens and relaxes. People report much more energy during the day and relaxation and better sleep at night. More energy with PEMF therapy helps your muscles to work harder longer and recover faster. PEMF can help with the whole gamut of illnesses. We recommend using PEMF devices for prevention. Using PEMF before and after any traumatic injury, and this will improve the healing process. Prevention alone can help to speed up the healing and recovery of any type of injury. When is the best PEMF device to buy? The 3 things that you want to look for. Number 1 is the signal. Number 2 are the coils. And number 3 is it safe? Let's break them down. First, signal. There's 2 components to the signal. You want a rapid rise and fall signal like a square wave or a sawtooth. They have a very abrupt rise and fall, and through Faraday's law, that's going to give you maximum ion transport to give you maximum charging of your cells. The other component of the signal is a broad spectrum of frequencies in the biologically active range. This is important because it's only through resonance that your cells are going to vibrate and respond to a PEMF signal. PEMF devices that have simplistic signals will not give you a broad spectrum of frequencies to create any significant healing and biological effect. A broad spectrum of frequencies will interact very favorably with the body's tissues and cells to create energy, improve microcirculation, oxygenation, ATP production, etc. Second thing to look for is the quality of the coils. With a PEMF therapy device, you absolutely want a full body mat to cover your whole body, and you want larger, tightly wound circular coils. The best PEMF devices will have handheld applicators to work on localized spots as well. Number 3, is it safe? First, we need to understand that high intensity is not needed. Remember, more is not better and less is more. There are many studies to show that a low-frequency, low-intensity PEMF device or a low-frequency, low-intensity PEMF signal works better than high-intensity. ICNIRP standards, the International Commission of Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection, NIED-EIN, WHO, and other international regulatory agencies have stated that those high-intensity ringer devices that make your muscles twitch are not safe to use every day. There's a lot of confusion in the PEMF industry saying that you need higher intensity. The problem are the so-called experts that use an inverse square law incorrectly and Faraday's law incorrectly as well to justify needing high intensity, and they get answers that are off by over 5,000%. Low frequency and low intensity has more than enough energy to get all the way through the body. It is important to get a device that is safe, so you can use it every day and get those daily benefits.